Hello Explorers, welcome back. So, a little bit of a different setup today because we are going to be rolling all of the money. Hopefully I have enough rolls here. I got them from the bank. We're going to be rolling all of the change from my penny savings challenge because all of these jars are just getting ridiculously full. And we have been leveraging our credit more lately, so we're not really getting change this entire week. The only change I got back was a quarter and a penny, and I just went ahead and threw them in here. And it's starting to get like that every week. So I've decided to roll everything, cash it in, and then we're going to cash stuff it into the bill savings binder. Because I know for the last, 9 months, you guys have been asking me what I'm going to do with all of the change from the penny savings challenge once I've completed it or at the end of the year. And I kept saying I wasn't sure. But I made the decision, I think like last week, that I'm going to put it into the bill savings. It's it just feels like the right time. So that is what we're going to do. So this whole pineapple jar was just quarters. Like I said, I'm hoping they gave me enough rolls or rolling paper. I don't know what you call that. I don't want to call it rolling paper. That doesn't sound right. But let's get started. I'll fast forward through some of it. I'll talk through some of it. I don't really know. I haven't really had much of a plan. So I think what I'm going to start with is putting all of the quarters into dollar, towers, and then I'll go through and put them into the papers. So that's where we're going to start. And hopefully this video is not going to be like 3 hours long. If it is, I will fast forward through some stuff. I should have had some topics to talk about. I was actually just brainstorming with my husband because I've mentioned this on TikTok. Let me move this because it's going to be really loud. One of my favorite channels on YouTube to watch, I go to sleep watching it, is Bailey Sarian, Murder Mystery Makeup Monday. And I've always wanted to do that because I could talk about true crime all day, every day, but I don't really do makeup. And plus I wouldn't want to do the same channels that she has. No one can replace Bailey Sarian. But I've thought about, once upon a time I thought about doing it with crafting because I used to do crafting videos and stuff. In case anybody didn't know, I was a partner with Cricut and Silhouette once upon a time when my page Bria.Snyder on Instagram was crafting. So I had thought about doing that before where I talked murder mystery and true crime and just all of that fun stuff while crafting. But since I don't do crafting anymore, and I was thinking of how I could incorporate that into maybe cash stuffing. Just because I find myself a lot of times trying to figure out what to talk about during my cash stuffing. And I just get bored. I get bored. I feel like I start talking about nothing, kind of like I'm doing right now. So if I came to you guys with something planned to talk about, like a true crime, I think that could be kind of fun. So let me know what you guys think. I wouldn't do it for every single cash stuffing video. Some videos I do need to talk about what it is that I'm doing, like savings challenges and stuff. I'm not going to be doing shut the box talking about a true crime because you can't always see what it is that I'm scratching or whatnot. So my thought process was maybe during videos like this where I don't really need to explain or talk about what it is that I'm doing. And then during Uno cash stuffing, where The only thing I would be talking about during Uno is what card I've pulled, which you can see, and what envelope I'm putting it in, which again, you guys can see. So just some brainstorming. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, and I could probably figure it out. I don't want to say that if I did do it, I would commit to doing it like every single video. Like I said, my husband brought up a good point that that's just adding something additional to my plate. But it is something that I truly, truly enjoy. And I haven't spent a whole lot of time lately, like, watching true crime or researching it like I normally do, because I've been so busy doing this stuff. So that would kind of force me to do something I love. But I don't know. Fun fact, I actually did vocational, which if you're not familiar with vocational, it's where you basically only do half-day high school and then you do half-day like a vocational or a college program. I did that for 2 years, my junior and senior year, because technically my sophomore year I had enough credits to graduate high school, but my mom wanted me to go through my entire high school experience, so she wouldn't sign off on me graduating early. So instead I did 2 classes a day my junior and senior year. I did 2 classes a day for high school, and then the rest of the day I went and did a college program. And I did law enforcement, criminal justice, and I did that for 2 years. And then even my high school classes, like most of them were criminal law, business law. I planned on going to school for criminal psychology. I actually started college for it. And then my husband and I moved from the Chicagoland area down to Miami. So I dropped out of college and moved to Miami for about a little under a year. And then we moved from Miami to Vegas, where we've been ever since. But just a little bit of background on like how much true crime and that whole like subject is a part of me. And I truly love everything about it. I love researching it. I love watching the documentaries. I love anything and everything there is to know about it. So yeah. That is a little bit of that. And now I'm married to a cop. How the tables have turned. But as far as being married to a cop, the funny thing about that is my husband never, ever, ever planned on being a police officer. In fact, he grew up in a family. His stepdad was a police officer, and his stepdad's whole family were police officers. I did not come from a family of police officers at all. Like, nobody in my family is an officer. But it's something that I wanted to do since I was very, very little. My actual goal in life as a child was to grow up and intern and then work for John Walsh. He was like my idol. And when I say little, I mean like 4 years old, 5 years old. If you asked me what I wanted to do, I would tell you I wanted to be a police officer and I was going to work with John Walsh. He was like my true idol. Used to scare my mom a little bit, you know, single mom of 2 girls, and, you know, I wasn't one of those kids that dreamed of being a princess or a doctor or anything like that. I was going to be a police officer, especially from somebody who didn't, like I said, I didn't grow up around police officers at all. I just always idolized them growing up. But all that to say, my husband had 0 interest in ever being a cop. Like, it was not his dream growing up. But when we moved to Vegas, he got a job working at Target. And while he was working at Target, he started off working in like electronics, and then he was approached to work asset protection, which is Target's security. And through working asset protection, he obviously dealt with our local police department quite a bit. And they were really just like, you should apply. So he called me one day, and he was from work, and he was like, hey, what do you think about this, like, police, you know, he sent me like the police application. I thought he meant I thought he was sending it for me because he knew that's something I always wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, that's great, but I actually can't be a police officer here because I'm legally blind in my right eye. And he was like, no, not for you, for me. And it threw me for a loop because I knew that was never something he had like wanted to do. It wasn't something he like dreamed of doing. But it worked out, and he applied, and here he is. So that's how I ended up married to a cop. I did not go searching for it by any means. I never wanted to be married to a cop. I wanted to be a cop. So it was an interesting turn. It's funny how like your life just completely, I wouldn't say derails because that makes it sound negative, but it just goes in a completely different direction than you expected it to go. But it works out. It worked out. I love staying home with my kids. I love what I do. I love getting to travel. Growing up, I used to tell my mom, like, if I couldn't be a police officer, I was going to be a traveler's wife. My family is Hungarian, my dad's side. And so I was very, very obsessed with my Hungarian roots and the fact that my family were Romani Hungarian travelers. And so that was always my plan, was just to travel or be an officer. And here I am. I'm an officer's wife and I travel for a living. So it's funny how it worked out, but it also isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. But it's just a little bit about me and my history and the things that I love, obviously aside from my kids. If you're new here, you know what, let's just make this a video talking about like things that I'm interested in. As much as I'd love to know what you guys are interested in, you're not here to talk to me, so I guess I'm just gonna talk about myself and you guys can chime in the comments. I am a true Disney adult through and through, which is pretty apparent on any of my pages. We have had Disneyland passes. We got our first Disneyland passes when our daughter was, we actually went, she turned 4 months old on our very first visit to Disneyland. We went for my son's it was his second birthday trip. And that's when we got our passes. We just went on our first Disney cruise, which was an absolute blast. And we put in a placeholder so that we could do a second Disney cruise. We put the placeholder in while we were on our first one. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about as far as me goes. So I think I'm going to finish setting these up because they're starting to get out of frame, and I will speed you guys up through this part, and I'll be back. Okay, so all of the quarters are all laid out. I'll show you guys on the camera. Now we're gonna start rolling them, and I don't remember how to do this. Let's hope that I can actually get them in here successfully. So we've got 1, 2. We're gonna start with $2 at a time. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's getting full. And 10. So we got our first roll done. I will fast forward you guys through the rest of them unless I can think of something to talk about. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How is it that I'm only 2 rolls in and my arms hurt? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How much did you say you thought it was?
I don't remember now.
I thought you said 100 and something.
Literally 183.
That is exactly what you said, 183. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys guess right now how much you think is going to be here in total. My husband says 183. I think it's going to be over 200. Oh, it would be helpful if I counted what I just put in there. I think it's going to be over 200. So leave in the comments how much you think this is going to be. Scoot the cameras over. Okay, and that was our last quarter roll. So this is what we have left over. We've got $5.25 left over. And in rolls, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So $111 in rolls. So we've got 100 and... Wait, did I say 111? $110 in rolls. And then $5.25 separate, so $115.25. Nice. I was going to put this on the calculator, but that's not a great idea because that calculator is going to clear out by the time we get the nickels and dimes done. So now I'm going to go through and separate all of the nickels and dimes so that I can start rolling those. And I'll speed you guys through. Now that we've done the quarters, if you're just thinking about changing your answer to how much you think is here, leave it as a reply to your original comment. Just put that you're updating the amount that you think is going to be here as a reply to your original amount that you put. Oh man, how should I do this? What? Okay, so I need to change the battery in my camera and I will be back to finish. Okay, I'm back. I don't know how long this is gonna last because this battery only has 13%, but we'll do what we can. And then we will just have to wait for batteries to charge. $45, $50, $55, $60, $65, $70, $75, $80, $85, $90, $95, $1, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30, $35, $40, $45, $50, $55, $60, $65, $70, $80. So this is $1. This is all the change so far that does not complete $1 from each denomination. All right, so of the dimes and the nickels, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, $12 in nickels. We'll add them to the stack. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, $36 in dimes. I'm sorry, we have $13 in nickels, $26 in dimes. This is our leftover change so far from dimes, nickels, and quarters. That does not equal $1. So let me move these out, and then we will start on pennies. So now is your chance to update your guess. I'm not gonna add everything up, but right now is your chance to update your guess if you would like to. I don't think we're definitely not gonna have enough sleeves for the pennies because this is all he gave me for pennies. He gave me a ton for quarters, but not a whole lot for pennies, so it's definitely not gonna be enough. But now is your chance to update that guess while I try to get this open and start on pennies. I'm just gonna leave them in here. There's no reason to dump this out. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. I'll probably just count them. I don't know if you guys noticed, I changed up how I was doing the nickels and the dimes just to make it easier on myself. And I think it streamlined the process a lot. So let's get started on these pennies. Again, if you're updating your guess, leave it as a reply to your original comment. Yeah, we're definitely not going to have enough because that is the first roll and we have not made a dent in these pennies. So, it is Sunday when I'm doing this. I'm going to be taking these into the bank tomorrow. I will get more roll sheets. I'm not going to add on to this video for that part though. So, I guess you'll find out in the Uno video what the total comes out to. We'll count up like what is rolled here. But whatever, as far as the pennies go, I'm not going to count them all right now. Yep.